Hey everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of the New Byte podcast. Today, finally again in the free player mode. Yes! Hello everyone, and welcome to the show. Hi Emily, hi Daniel, how are you doing today?
I'm good.
I'm doing good as well.
Fantastic.
How are you, house test?
I'm so ready for vacation, which is good because it starts tomorrow. So,
Hey!
for people that didn't know, last week we announced already that I'm going to EGX Berlin, the first time that the Eurogamer Expo is in Germany, and I'm really excited for it. It's another time that I'm flying over, actually not taking just a train, and it's like, I'm excited. It's the first time in Berlin again after a few years or so, and this time I'm not just like driving through or just having like an interview for a workspace. I actually can just walk through there and have time and explore myself. So it's going to be really, really good. Looking forward to that.
That's good.
Yes. What are you doing these days, Daniel?
Right, so I'm working, and I'm also Yes, I'm working. I'm also looking for more permanent work, and I am doing D&D stuff as always. Painting miniatures. I got some new ones actually. I got a fire elemental that I painted recently that I'm very happy about.
Nice.
And yeah, just playing video games.
Video games.
Video games.
What have you been playing?
What have I been playing? Oh, double score. Let's see. What have I been playing recently? I just finished off Sherlock Holmes and the Devil's Daughter.
Oh,
because that I believe was on it's either on Games for Gold or it's on Game Pass.
Okay.
But
which
I highly recommend it.
So like,
I highly recommend it as it was a lot of fun. I've managed to 100% it achievements wise.
Oh wow.
And in game wise, it was a lot of fun. And if you like murder mysteries, then you're going to love that. I believe the other one is Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishments.
Yeah, I heard of that.
That's another one that's I think it's the first one of the two, and it's very, very good. So I do recommend those. What about you, Emily? What have you been up to?
So I've been having a little time off. I've been traveling a lot. I firstly travelled to like Gamescom, and then I went to America. And I've been to lots of other places, and then I've had like a little time off, like I've already said, because I'm starting a new job soon, which is really exciting. But I've also been playing a couple of games to fill the time and the void of what I've been doing. So I've been playing 2 Point.
Wait. Sorry. I just gotta intersect a few seconds because people can hear right now, and if they think, "Oh, Emily sounds a little strange," that's for people that just listen to the podcast and don't really watch it necessarily. Emily's microphone's broken right now, and we're talking through her laptop and some like headset microphones that you get for smartphones. So we really am sorry for the quality, but we were thinking, hey, it's been such a long time. Rather have on a show like this, so we can at least talk to her and she can talk to us, than not at all. So just a little thing. But please continue. What have you been playing?
Thank you for the interruption. I've been playing lots of 2 Point Doctor. I've really I just saw adverts for the game and I thought that's a game that I'd really like, because I've been playing like other simulations like City Skylines and other stuff like that.
Nice.
So I've been really enjoying that. And haven't you been playing that, house test? What have you thought of it?
Of 2 Point Hospital?
Yeah.
We've been talking a little bit, like last week, but it's good to have you on here as well, because the two of us played it. And I can just reiterate, like, it's a really fantastic game. I'm actually on the point right now in the game where I'm not just sustaining my own financial income. I actually am depending on the landlord, basically, who takes all my income from diagnosis and everything. So the money that I would earn as a hospital goes to that guy, and he instead pays us by having us fulfill little achievements. For example, send a janitor through training and give him some new skill, for example. Then we get like 60k dollars. I don't know what the currency is actually right now. 60k money, and this is the way currently in this mission how to progress and how to further expand your hospital. And it's like stupidly, like really, really exhausting because the goals sometimes are just that stupid that you think, why do I have to, for example, create like 200 research points while I'm actually having way more trouble of building, for example, new machines that I can use to help my patients with because they have very strange diseases.
Yeah.
And you always finish a mission with a star system. So you have 3 stars maximum that your hospital can get. And to each star that you continue on, there are certain achievements that you need to reach. And for this one, is just getting achievements done for the landlord. You also need to research a new way to treat like an 8-bit disease. So all the patients are looking like really pixely and really walking like 2 frames per second. It's actually very fun. But it just takes so long, and I started this mission over 2 times because the first time I was just hoping that I can do enough research so I can get the way the unlock to build a machine and room so I can treat patients. The next time I failed it, and all of a sudden in this mission also, this is a little neat thing actually, there's like a virus spreading around, and you need to all of a sudden stop everything that you're doing and then get them some treatment. So there are all of a sudden patients running around in your hospital with arms like this, and say, oh, they're in a zombie where they're infested and you need to give them a cure, and you only have like 15 items that you can give them, and you need to identify at least like 8 of them. And if it spreads and they don't have enough of them, like the government has to go in, and basically it's like a failed state. So all of a sudden, not only you have to take care of your hospital, which you've been doing for like 8 missions, like fairly well, the rules how to earn money and sustain money is just gone and changed completely. And also there's sometimes these mini games. It's like really, really exhausting.
I guess it makes the game different compared to what like you've been doing the last couple of missions.
Yeah.
But I haven't actually got that far in the game yet because I've also been playing other games. But yeah, like I've been playing Burnout Paradise.
How do you like it going back again after? So, I mean, I don't know when you've played it the last time, but it's been probably a while, I guess.
What, Burnout Paradise?
Yeah.
I actually, like, I think I've come back as a more confident player. Like, after Gamescom and stuff like that, I think I've come back more skilled, I guess. I have more patience to play it, definitely. But I've actually played it more this time and progressed more. So I guess I've like learned how to actually like play the game instead of just driving around. Well, but yeah.
So you're so much more experienced now after Gamescom.
Yeah.
Cool.
I guess so. But yeah, that's what I've been up to.
All right. I mean, if I should talk what I've been doing in the meantime, it's like I've only been playing Destiny, like nothing else. I've been just continuing on getting more weapons, but also like joining up with friends more and more now. Like people that I used to play with like 2 years ago with Destiny 1, they're starting to come back again. It's like really nice to see actually how people say that, oh, actually Destiny 2 seems to be cool now. And we're now in the 3rd week since the release of the new expansion. And the thing with that is right now there's a complete new city sort of for end game content. So after the main campaign, you unlock a whole new area. And in this area, every week something is changing up. Every week you get a new mission. So it's like actually alive in a certain way. And it helps to just keep players interested because you don't just get everything at once. It actually keeps holding you back. And there are some really tough challenges in there. Like for people that have sort of a light level system is probably known by now, but just a quick explanation. You have a number that is set through the average of power your weapons have and the armor strength that you have. And the maximum is 600. And it's really difficult to get past 550 because they're like natural levels that your normal missions can get you through level-wise. And then after that, it starts when you get higher very slow. So this end game thing right now has, for example, since the last reset, which happens every week, a new mission on level 590, which sets the bar really high for the people that want to play that. And the rewards are also really cool. You see like certain characters apparently coming back from the dead, and also lore-wise, it's really cool what's happening right now in Destiny. If you care about the sort of background story, what's more happening in the world and not just what you can see by just playing the main missions. So for people who like to stay sort of after the first curtain close, it's like really cool and a lot of things to do right now. And I'm really motivated to go back to play old content, get old weapons that help me with the new content and so much.
Yeah.
And it really takes a lot of time out of my evenings, but I really also enjoy it, so I don't see why I should stop that. Especially if I can talk now to friends again who said, oh, actually, I want to sit down and play PlayStation, who otherwise would have been doing something else, just watching Netflix on their TVs instead of their PlayStations and something like that. So it's cool to have also some old friends back again to talk to and see how they've been doing. Like from one person, for example, I talked to him like 2 years ago, and now we started playing again. It's like, oh, how are you doing? We're catching up, and it's really interesting how things change in the time, and we're still connected through this really cool game still. So there's like the social aspect that I really find joy in with Destiny. Yeah, there's that. It's probably like D&D for Dan, right? When you guys come around, use the DM.
Yeah. Well, I like Destiny and I want to get back into it. It's just been kind of like almost a struggle, mainly because of just kind of how it's so multiplayer focused. There's not a lot of single player action. Admittedly, I haven't finished the new single player story, but
okay,
it's like I need to get there. I'll probably finish it off either today or tomorrow.
Is that on Destiny 2?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it on Xbox as well?
It's everywhere. It's even on PC now.
It's even on PC.
The first game was only on consoles, and the second one now, since last year, is also on PC. So it's really cool, and it's actually well optimized, runs really well, and it's a blessing to play on PC, which is the reason why so many streamers, for example, who played on PlayStation 4 for the exclusive things, are now playing on PC because it's just that much better of an experience, because you're not sitting at 30 FPS, you have the full 60 or even whatever FPS that your computer can run the game at, and it's really a joy to play in PC. The only reason that I haven't made a switch is simple. I just have friends on PlayStation 4 already, and I wouldn't necessarily start from scratch again and need to start a new community, basically, that I can play with. Or I can find another community that I can sort of attach myself to, but I find that really difficult, to be honest.
Yeah. So you can't play across platforms?
Certainly not. No, this one's not.
What is it? The reason why you can't is because I think they put it down to like PlayStation doesn't allow it, so they're not going to allow it for Xbox to PC just because of that or something. But
I think for Destiny, but I think also for cases like Destiny is like more difficult than other games. We've seen it with Rocket League, for example, which is basically just 3 people, or I think 4v4 maximum, in a cage that are just driving around. It's just way easier to do because there are no AIs or just filling up player accounts, for example, in between when someone's dropping out. They have an AI controlled car in the meantime, but it never goes past 8 cars in one cage. Whereas Destiny actually is like really big. They have so many enemies on screen, and the maximum players that are in an instance is, I think, 9 in the real world. And it's like really putting a lot of strain on that. And if you also have to work now over different consoles and also the PC platform, makes it even more challenging. So I guess it would take a lot more time also for that.
Yeah, another thing that probably would stop them from doing it is the PlayStation exclusive stuff. So on PlayStation, you get exclusive like missions and weapons and armor that you don't get on any of the other platforms, which I personally think is really stupid. But hey ho,
absolutely.
Mainly because I really, really wanted I think it was Destiny 1. They had this exclusive on PlayStation sniper rifle that you could switch to whichever damage type you wanted. So you could go from solar to void to whatever the other one was.
Wasn't a sniper though?
It was a sniper. I can't remember what the name of it was, but it was a black thing. It was like that long on the character thing. It was ridiculous. It was lovely.
But there was one sniper which was called Zen Meteor, and if you can hit like I think 3 headshots or so, the third one is like having a super strength bullet that could take down like an ultra enemy like halfway at least. But other than that, I know there's one really good hand cannon that they had exclusive and like an exotic that has always a so-called buff like lucky shot or something. So from 12 shots that you have in your magazine, one was, or I think even 2 were like twice as powerful. But other than that, mostly like strike and mission content were like exclusive to PlayStation 4, which sucks of course for everyone who does not have one. I specifically got one, as I explained in an earlier podcast. On the day Destiny 1 came out, I got myself the first PlayStation 4 that I had. And then later on, I switched also over to PlayStation Pro. Well, yeah. Well, I guess that's it for now. If you don't want to continue about any story, I guess we go into the news. Because for news, we actually have lots of stuff to talk about. Contrary to the last few weeks, which were like a little slow. Now things are picking up again. And oh boy, do the news arrive. For example, the very first story that we have is a sad one, I think, at least, because it is actually about Telltale games. The guys that did, for example, Tales of the Borderlands, Game of Thrones series, and of course also The Walking Dead, in a point-and-click manner where you can just adventure your way through different episodes, and usually like 5 or 6 episodes make up a season and continue more interesting storyline based around the universe that the stories also set in. Damn. Has anyone played any Telltale games of you?
I think I played some of the Batman Telltale one. And I've also played like the first of the Walking Dead one.
Yeah, they also have a Minecraft story mode thing happening, which is like backwards thinking from Minecraft. Minecraft does not need necessarily a story. It has some lore, depending on what you would consider a story, that would be it. But story mode actually makes it backwards again. It's taking the creativity out. And so many things. And yeah, the thing is now from the, I think, what was it? Over 150 people, only 25 are left. And they're being told to end the work on The Walking Dead. But now, since this has been come out, this was over the weekend, we also have news regarding The Walking Dead, the final season. It just had its release of the second episode from, I think, 5. And now the complete season was taken out. So you can't purchase it anymore. And it's like really going back and forth. And of course, people are also on the barrage and saying like, hey, you can't just let people go in that huge masses. So they're actually suing, I think, the company that is Telltale Games. So the developers that have been let go are coming back and want to go to court with that, which I can absolutely understand. It's just a whole mess with the situation. Like, voice actors are coming back and saying like, actually interesting, we heard this and that, and really sorry that this is happening. So of course the most people affected from this are the developers working on the games, because they've been also working, for example, for Netflix on a Stranger Things adventure game, which would have been awesome. And some things have been popped up now on the internet, like leaked gameplay. And also, this is now interesting because Netflix says, actually, we have plans to continue on without Telltale. It's like, okay, wow, is it that easy to just go on somewhere else? I don't know. We could just really hope only that people that had been working at Telltale, that they'll find new jobs somewhere else. The communities and other developers that I've seen, at least on Twitter, were really supportive and said, like, hey, if you've been let go, come to us. We're always searching for cool people to work with. And yeah, let's hope this goes out for the better, at least for some people. It always sucks to lose a job, definitely. But there's still some things that people can do about it. And let's hope that, for example, the stuff in court will be settled, at least for the better for some people. It's just really weird. Like, working in game development must be really stressful because it can hit you anytime. And this just confirms it yet again. Games are owned by the companies and publishers and the developers that put their blood and sweat into these. They're just not really being well respected from that. I really feel shitty for these. I don't know. What's your comment on this?
Well, Telltale, they were, in my personal opinion, I liked the style that they brought. Well, not the style, but I liked the kind of like storytelling that they brought across. I thought that was good. A game series that were heavily focused on the story. What I thought was a bit walking on thin ice that would always break through for them is releasing it in episodes, as that's always been my personal opinion as I'm paying this much, and if I stretch out over the course of however long those series are, let's say like Walking Dead, I don't know the exact prices, but let's say there's something like 10 episodes. If they each cost £10, you're essentially paying £100 for a game.
Yeah.
And that's a bit ridiculous. But that's why I think the Hitman series, when it was doing it in episodic things, that's why I think it fell through heavily. So I always thought Telltale were going a bit on thin ice with that model. But otherwise, the storytelling that they brought to the different genres that they were taking on worked really well, in my opinion.
Yeah, apparently there was like one big investor that just dropped off. And that was basically the death sentence for Telltale Games, which is really sad. But it's like how it is. Like we've been talking, or at least hearing from other people saying like, wow, if they do so many projects at once, like I think at the game trailers, they announced like, we're doing the Batman game, we're doing the Minecraft game, we're doing this game. It's like, how many games do you want to develop and deliver on while also publishing already new episodes from seasons from other games that you have the license to? Like, what can you actually do? And this is like the limit. This is it. This is the end. The end of the road, sadly. I don't know. Emily, have you played any of the games?
I have played the Walking Dead one, the very first one.
Oh, wow. How did you like that? Like that style and gameplay?
I actually quite liked how the game, how it progressed. I liked how you can like pick your own way to go. It's not like a certain way that you have to go. Like it's a story based on what you like pick for yourself, like for your character, and all the certain outcomes that come with it. That's what I liked about what they did as a company, and because it's all like that, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So yeah, I liked that one. I completed it actually, which is fun.
Nice.
Yeah. So
people still yell at me when I say that I played Tales of the Borderlands only until episode 3, I think, because after that I was just like not interested anymore at all in these kinds of games. Like the gameplay was just like, I'd rather just watch a whole series and not interact with it at all, rather than just having a few pointers to do. It's like semi-active gameplay just doesn't interest me at all. And the other game that I finished actually was the Game of Thrones one, which was not that good, to say it at least. It's like, it just doesn't really deliver on the Game of Thrones series. So, yeah, there's that. But well, we have so many other news topics to talk about. Let's just continue on. And the next thing we have is actually really weird because China actually is blocking Twitch, which we are streaming to also right now. If you are watching this on YouTube or on Mixer, we're also happening on Twitch, twitch.tv/thenewbyte. Follow us there. Of course, if you want to see any new podcast when it happens live. And yeah, this one's being reported by Charlie Hall over at Polygon. And there's some interesting stuff coming around there because Twitch actually was rising to popularity over there. A live stream service from outside of China, which is like always a little strange with how China works as a communistic. I was almost saying company, but I have to say country, of course. Damn it. Yep. It's like really strange. And you could think of it like, maybe it's like, the government just wants to step in and say, actually, we want to do this on your own way so we can make the most profit out of it because they have such a large population. But on the other side, it's like really weird again how countries like these are handling things over there. I don't know. I can't really add that much more about it. It's more like a, hey, I just wanted to let you know. I'm not sure if you guys have anything to add to this because at least for me, like politics-wise, it's not my strongest point at least, but I still find it very interesting to talk about how things are working in the world right now, especially with Twitch, a website that we're still actively working on sometimes.
Yeah, I think I may be doing this wrong. This may be a different country, but I think it was China that has their own version of Twitter Like they don't even use normal Twitter because the government has in their opinion they've restricted so many things to what they feel is relevant to the rest of their country. So blocking Twitch kind of doesn't come across as too odd or weird, mainly because they have their own version of different things. So I personally would think it's weird, but I am from a Western culture. I don't know what Chinese culture is like. So this is probably in China. This is probably like we have other things, because I think I've watched like Dota 2 tournaments and stuff, and the only way to watch that was using a Chinese-based Twitch-like service. So I know they have other options, but it is kind of a bit odd for something as big as Twitch. Maybe they also block YouTube as well, but that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, on Wikipedia it says here about censorship over Twitter in China. Twitter is blocked in China. However, many Chinese people use it anyway. In 2010, and I hope I don't butcher that name too much, Chen Yangping was sentenced to 1 year in the labor camp for retweeting a comment that suggested boycotters of Japanese products should instead attack the Japanese pavilion at the 2010 Shanghai Expo. Her fiancé, who posted the initial comment, claims it was actually a satire of anti-Japanese sentiment in China. Yikes.
Anti-Japanese sentiment, that's a bit... that doesn't sound like a joke.
I always think like it's good to live where I'm living right now. It's okay. It's not too bad. At least I can retweet anything I want without being like sentenced to 1 year and then labor camp. Like, wow. Anyway, I guess we should move on. Like, this is actually the bad news block. People, as I've labeled it in our document, we gotta continue on with the bad news, sadly, because weirdly enough, Capcom is actually pulling some shit with Devil May Cry 5, and the community actually was really interested in that title because, hey, a new mainline Devil May Cry 5, that's amazing. It's like taking back what they had with the last game, which was more like a remake and turning a few things around. We saw Dante of Black Hands of the classic white one, which was also meddling with the iconic, of course, likeness of the character, and now it's coming back again. So it's like, okay, this is actually what the fans wanted. And we see now, actually, Devil May Cry 5, as per Capcom, is putting in microtransactions. Why is that weird? Well, Devil May Cry 5 is not like an online multiplayer game where you could argument a little bit like, okay, this is maybe because they want to maintain live services for servers or anything. This is a single-player offline game. And they put it in as a sort of way to accelerate progression, so you can get red orbs, which you can use to unlock certain new abilities, which help you, of course, on your way. But you can also just play through it, like for example in Spider-Man for the PlayStation 4, which is a lot of fun, as we've been talking about last week. Yes. It's just like, what? What are you doing?
This is not like a this is not a new thing though. Because Ubisoft have been doing this for years with their content. Like Assassin's Creed Black Flag, one of the big things was you could buy packs for the ships that would allow you to, like, you didn't have to go and search the world for new resources. You could just get a load of resources for £5 or something. All the maps would unlock and all that kind of thing. And I personally don't see it as a big thing, because then that means that people who really want to go to get to a certain point within the game are just kind of like, okay, I can spend a little bit of money and I can get there. Or you can do like, I guess you would do House or myself, where you just play through the game and you get the stuff anyway, because it sounds to me like knowing a little bit of the Devil May Cry series, you can red orbs allow you to unlock things, but you get them through playing the game. So I don't think it's going to like be anything locked behind a paywall, but it's more kind of for the casual player who just like, oh, I want Dante to look like this, so I'm going to pay money.
I'm sorry, but this is bullshit. Just on the main course, companies want to sell you that stuff, and if you have a microtransaction based progression system here, Like, it's not based on it, but it can be accelerated by it. This just means there are precautions in there that force you to feel that you need to purchase these. And I just don't want that in single-player games. They have nothing to do in there. It's like, for example, with the orcs in Shadow of Mordor, or whatever it was. It was the second title, right? Like, why is this there? And they've been saying after they were putting the things out of the game, actually they had to rebalance this stuff. And I was thinking, okay, excuse me, I thought this was like optional. I thought this was like not necessary, but apparently they needed to like work around the whole economy of that game. And this is the same thing with Devil May Cry 5. People just don't put these things in here because they want to play nice, because they want to offer you better progression for the game. They want to make money. And how do they do that? They make, of course, progression a little slower, just like tiny little bit slower. But of course, with supervision from psychologists, like people that actually work with the minds of people to know how they can pull out the most money out of you without you letting feel that you've been pulled off with this. And it's like, I don't see any reason why this should be in there. I have no argument why I would say no. Yeah. I just don't buy that this is optional.
Yeah, I agree that it's a bit underhanded, and it's not exactly something I would put in. If I created a single player game, I wouldn't put in microtransactions that allowed you to get things faster. But I would say maybe the Devil May Cry 5 is going to be different. But I would say I kind of like Ubisoft's one, mainly because it doesn't stunt progress at all. Like, I've played through the entirety of the game. I've gotten all of the stuff that I needed to get, and I didn't have to worry about like feeling like I needed to buy the packs to get everything. But maybe some people felt like they did. I think it's more a matter of down to either the person playing it, or it is down to how the game is built. I do think it's stupid. I really do. It's something we can definitely agree on. But I guess we're just going to have to wait until somebody like figures out how much of an increase you get based off of the microtransactions to see if it really affects performance, or if it's more just I want this outfit that costs insert number of red orbs, so I'm going to buy that number, or buy some just so I can get that one outfit, just so I can play the game looking how I want to. But that's... I hope it doesn't actually, because like if red orbs are more like you get red orbs and then you can upgrade abilities and stuff, that seems like, well, why even bother playing the game if you're going to do that? But yeah, it may be I may be completely wrong about this, but from my experience of microtransactions in single player games, they're mainly aesthetic, but I don't know like much about DMC5, as I've never really played the DMC series. So
yeah, we can just agree to disagree in the most things, and the things that we agree on, we just know how we're standing. So I just say, just don't put it in there at all.
Yeah,
just give me new missions. Give me like I personally think, for example, people are complaining about Destiny 2 that they're not putting in new enemies, or that they just redesign things that are already there. And I think like, yeah, but you're getting so much story still around it. Like, the game does not live from brand new types of enemies. It's okay if they're like at least similar, because you can't just make complete new enemy races out of nothing. There needs to be some good stuff around that. And it takes time, and they're working really closely. Like, they're putting out every year one big expansion, and then multiple small things also over the year. I can't blame them to not just whip out completely new stuff every year. Well, that they have like an established universe, and that they work with that. The other things, again, with the Eververse, which is the store where you can buy microtransaction stuff, they also have sometimes really cool armor plates and everything, which I think, hey, this looks actually cool, but I don't want to spend any more money on it. I just want to play the game that is already luck-based. It's an RNG-based game. I just want to play that and earn my way through this so I can get the cool stuff, and I just don't want to pay additionally on that. And right now we already have a system where we pay now 40 euros more, at least here in Germany, for the season pass, which means I can get 4 new pieces of DLC every quarter of the year already. So I'm paying now already that they get new updates instead of having them for free with the excuse of saying the microtransactions are paying for this, and they're still in there. So they have now the base game, then you have the season pass, which you get for the annual pass, basically, and you also have the microtransactions in there. And we've seen with Activision how much money they're doing because of the financial reports that they're also doing every quarter, and they make millions, if not billions, already. It's insane. Like, companies want to do all the money in the world instead of just making games that are just fine.
Yeah. I think I read somewhere a while ago that it was a report about what the biggest growing industries are at the moment, and it was something like the video game industry is bigger than the film industry, the music industry, and it was another industry that I can't remember the name of combined, and they were previously like the biggest ones. So just by growth rate, video games are ridiculous, and we spend something like several $1 billion or £1 billion on video games alone because there is a lot of them, and we enjoy our entertainment as a human race. So I do think it is underhanded that they want to sell you more, essentially. But I don't understand selling progression. That makes no sense to me. But selling something like cosmetic items or things that don't really affect the game, that makes sense to me, because then I can be like, okay, I get to play the game and my performance is not hindered by my lack of money. So
there's only one way how I can say I'm okay with this, and this is like if you say, hey, here's this new like outfit, you can buy this for $2 or something, go ahead if you need it. Like your artist had a few extra time in between gameplay testing and everything. Here's what they came up with. It's what they do anyway in the meantime, so just go ahead. But with luck in the mix, it's like getting into gambling because you spend money to have a chance or something, and you might not get it, and you're being like tricked into paying more on this. And it's like I don't want to support gambling in that way, and that's why I'm against it, even in a single player game. Like, Emily, what do you think about it? What if, for example, Burnout Paradise would say, actually, why don't you just pay us like 50 quid every time you want to recharge your boost? Like, what do you think of that?
I think it's a little bit of a rip-off. I think if I want to play a game, I want to pay...
like a little bit. I was just doing like
50 quid is a bit over the top for boosts. Though.
Okay, I was saying an insanely high price, but this is how ripped off I feel sometimes. It's like maybe it's stupid. I say like £2 for a booster that you can use each week once, so you have a little bit more speed on the one way. How about that? Let's design stupid shit. I won't do this. It's just like theorizing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just about to say something, but...
Sorry, please go ahead, please.
Well, I feel like it's a rip-off if they do put microtransactions, say, in Burnout Paradise. Like, it's just as bad as how Sims had, like, a whole store of content that they made, and then they got people to buy stuff from. It's just really annoying, and I expect to progress throughout the game without having to buy it, like without having to buy anything, or like have like the progression as a reward or something instead of just having to buy it. There's like you can't buy a way through life. Well, some people can, but like
the others that are just having usual lives, like normal, they just can't afford that.
Life is pay to win.
Exactly.
The system is rigged. Redistribute the wealth.
Sorry, Lord.
But it's unfair for people who don't want to pay and want to like progress through the game without having to like pay for it, because people just take the easy route out if they have the money. But I don't know. I guess it depends if people want a challenge, and it depends what kind of game it is.
I mean,
and
sometimes
who's producing it.
I'm sorry. sometimes you're paying for a game and you just don't get what you've been expecting. You get something completely different, like, for example, of Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Again, that was just released. Apparently, it also got a day one patch, which completely changed the ending. And I'm just stunned by the news. Like, apparently the first version was showing off a character from the very first 1996 game of the very first Tomb Raider. And this, from what I've heard, people that were seeing this and played the game, they were saying, "Oh, this is actually the ending that I wanted to have." The actual one that they saw, which is now the patched version, is just not that good. And I think, wow, this is like really sad. Isn't there a better way to do this? Like, at least say, hey, we actually had some change in development. We have, for example, on offer a classic ending. Let's say like that. Like, let's make the patch version still the intended one, although it isn't. And let's say actually there's an alternative ending. Like, there's so many ways how you can implement alternative endings, and this is now like patched out. So you needed to buy apparently a vanilla version of the game and not update it at all and play through it completely. And then you can see it apparently, and it's on YouTube. Of course it is. And like, wow, crazy. Like, we're changing whole story endings now if we want to in a patch.
I think they posted in the article, they were talking about how it was it seemed, from their opinion, it seemed more like a they wanted to build hype for it, and the way how they explained why they changed the ending as a like, one of the designers left it in by accident, so we've changed everything. But the ending was based off of a part that you got within the game way before the ending, which made more sense. Which seems a bit kind of like, well, now you're just kind of hiding this from us. Did you not like the ending, or was it like spoiling things too much?
Here's another thing why this is just shitty practice and not telling the people about it. Like, this was found out way later after release, and just think about it. If you are a game journalist that is reporting about the game and wants to do a review and wants to say, "Oh, so the ending was really great. I really enjoyed what they did, and fans of the series especially will really love it." And then a game comes out with a completely different ending, and people are playing this like, "Actually, I don't get it. Why do you like this so much?" And the reviewer goes then in and says like, "Wait, this isn't the ending that I played. Holy shit, what has happened?" I personally would have felt like, oh, it's a ripped off from like Square Enix here in that case, if I were to talk about the end of the game and just include it as a selling point basically for the game. Like, sometimes if you do a review, it's like putting on things that you think that are good, and they turn automatically into selling points because people, of course, read these reviews in order to decide if they want to pay for the game or not.
Yeah,
I'm just not happy about that.
I think it is bad. I think one of the worst things that happened to video games as a whole is the day one patch, because the day one patch seems to be a right up until the release date, even after we've printed out discs, even after we've allowed you to preload some of the stuff onto the console, we're going to like spit out parts of the game right up until the wire, because we can't be bothered to actually make a polished game, tell you about the polished game, and then not have to worry about polishing the game because it's already polished at E3 or something. I personally think that a day one patch is just kind of like the bane of video games at the moment, because like the most classic case was something like Assassin's Creed Unity. Day of release, there were no faces on the characters. There was just teeth and eyeballs, and it was creepy and it was weird. Arno would jump off of buildings and fall through floors and then keep falling because the game was broken and disgusting. And then the next day, day one patch came out, and it was fine. Everything got fixed because they had to polish the game, and they were waiting for the day one patch, which I would say is really bad. Like, that's really bad practice to do. Just make your game work first, then add other stuff in, or balance things on day one. Don't change your game.
What you're saying is there's a core message in what you've been saying, and it's absolutely true. But here's the thing: what developers would do is completely different from what the companies want to do and the publishers.
Oh, that's
and they
true.
set the date, and you need to do this. Then there are demands from the platform holders like Xbox and PlayStation, of course, which needs to go through a certification of that. And I still say Day One patch is the godless best thing that we have, because as a developer, I'm just doing web stuff at work, and I'm also programming slowly but surely also applications. And if I would be forced to say like, hey, you can work on this thing until date X and not work after it at all, it's like, but I have still this idea for a fix. Like, I can do this better. Why can't I just like, we can say, okay, this goes through all the things that it needs to go through, but before it goes out actually to public, we do one make update lastly, which improves the whole thing even better. And it's like, why shouldn't I do this? And through, of course, the role of broadband internet that we have right now, it's at least available to a lot of people that can benefit from this. But of course, if they change things like that, this is of course completely different.
No, I'm not saying like patches aren't good. Yeah. I'm saying that the practice of leaving a game broken until they fix it on day one is bad, because
you can't say that.
Well,
No.
Take this for example though. Let's say a website, none of your drop down menus work and pictures don't scroll with your website, and they're intended to scroll, and you've advertised it as they scroll, and then when people use your website on day one it doesn't work, and then later on day one you release an update and everything works. It's kind of like, well, what's the point?
But this is why you delay games. Like, this is why Battlefield 5 got delayed. This is why Insurgency Sandstorm got delayed. This is why they're continuously working on it. And this is a completely different thing again, because games are just that complex also. Like, the things that people are fixing on are just so minuscule in these last day one patches. Like, it's not usually big things, but see, I'm just dropping my shit out here as a developer. I can't stand for this. I need to support them. So poor people working their blood and sweat for us for our entertainment, and we are just treating them.
I agree with you. I think updating a game is good, and I support developers, but I just think that if companies didn't have such a let's release our game trailer for E3, and then like a month before the game is supposed to release they still haven't finished it, like that's just ridiculous. I think they should have like a semi-polished game before they even considered talking to E3. But
so what do we think about Cyberpunk 2077 then? Should CD Projekt Red have not shown anything about it? Yes or no? This is a yes or no thing.
Yes or no? No.
Okay.
No, because the hype is building up, but as soon as they release the game, unless it is like perfect day one, the hype's just going to destroy it. It's going to absolutely destroy the game. There's no way, because like, what was it? The Witcher 3. As soon as they released that game was amazing and playable day one, and they barely patched anything day one. There was no complaints on day one, other
than the day one cosmetics, free cosmetic updates that they had. Of course, we gotta give this to them. They not only published a great game. No. This is a good thing. This is a good thing. This is additionally to already well working game. They also gave us more cosmetic things for free just because they had this here. Get it. It's for free. Boom.
But that was
this is amazing, of course,
because they had the game finished. They had it finished and done and ready. But they didn't talk about the game until it was finished, done, and ready.
This is where we just need to stop, because it's just going on for too long.
All right.
Everyone gets one sentence. We need to go on. Okay, I'm sorry. I just need to cut it down.
Okay. Like, aren't you paying the amount of money to have a perfectly okay game to play? You're paying that amount of money to not have like any patches or anything.
I'm happy to do that as long as the game's playable and good.
Then you will never get any games or like games every 10 decades, but whatever. I say it's okay. Developers should be allowed to show the game off beforehand. They should make it clear what is in development, what is definitely just like a thing that they try out. This is what I really respected about Cyberpunk 2077, because they already said these are things that are up for changes. This is what I have as ideas. Like you see the UI and think that they would probably never do this UI with that text color because it's just not that easy to read, but it looks really cool, and you see what inspiration is. This is where it could go on from this, and you could, if you have a little bit of experience in gaming, you know, like, okay, they will tone this down, but this is what they have as an idea, and I think, okay, from this idea I can be sold on. Just if they make it clear this is absolutely in development. If they pretend that this is like the thing that we get in the end, I absolutely understand how you pronounce that, but
yeah,
they should be allowed to talk about what they're doing and show it off a little bit at least. Point. Next up, we have another sad news which you can just skip over, actually, because not many people actually have a PlayStation Vita, but definitely Sony has announced that they will stop the production of the PlayStation Vita in 2019 in Japan, which will mean it's most likely the end of the lifetime for the PlayStation Vita, the little handheld that Sony did next to the main, of course, PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. Popular? It's really popular in Japan. Not that much in the West, but especially in Japan, they have so many games on there, and I would definitely get one as soon as I can, because I think this is a cool thing to collect, especially if it's now running out and there are so far no new plans from Sony for a new handheld. So basically they're giving it back again to Nintendo. Nintendo's like the only real handheld platform right now. And
to be honest, they were only the real handheld platform.
I mean before, but they're not sharing, at least in Japan. So this is the end now, and the PlayStation Vita has so many cool things, especially with PlayStation 4, because you could actually like you can, for example, from with Steam streaming, where I have a little box in my living room where the game will just stream the video feed, but the actual machine that's running the game is my PC here. This also applies for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita. So if you have, for example, in your living room the PlayStation 4, but your family, for example, wants to see a movie, you can just take your Vita, stream the game from the PlayStation 4 to your Vita and play through this then instead in your living room, in your bedroom, for example, which is like, I think, really cool feature. Just not many people needed it. And the games that were on the Vita alone, which is like the main reason why you would buy a console, are just not that interesting, at least in the West, apparently. But there's so many things coming off about that, and I just hate to see it go. And yeah, so this is definitely that we need to, at least I want to get a PlayStation Vita just for saying that it is here. But the prices are still like very high right now. You can get a used version apparently in good condition for 180 euros and a brand new one for 250. And I'm like, okay, I really gotta see if I can find an offer or at least like a game bundle with that. But I definitely would get one, especially now that they're saying it's gonna end soon. So yeah. Oh, that's a side note also, which I've seen but I have not included here. Apparently there's rumors going around for the Nintendo 64, so the N64 classic mini console from Nintendo. Not much is going up right now, they're just rumors, but as a side note, this is happening right now also in the gaming world, and I'd be up for that absolutely, because the Nintendo 64 is one of the consoles that I had absolutely no real contact to unless that I played with a friend once or twice. Back in my childhood. In the 90s. I'm so old. Anyway. I don't know. Do you want add anything about that, or should we just go on with the next news, because we have so much to talk about?
I know that a lot of people when I was growing up had a PlayStation Vita, but it really kind of dropped off. A lot of massive amount. But I think there are not many people who want to. I don't think I can't remember the last time I ever read a game that's like, oh, we're releasing this on Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, and PlayStation Vita. It's like, that's just not happening anymore. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah, you won't get new games from there.
Productions. But there was a lot of games produced for it, and it was from what I understand a good handheld.
Definitely. All right. Let's continue with good news, actually. Well, good news from Sony. I'm still cynical about this, but starting today, Fortnite players can have cross-play beta access, which means you can now play PlayStation 4 Fortnite with also people from all the other platforms that have been playing it already. So with Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, PC, and even the mobile phone users can play now with the PlayStation 4 version of Fortnite.
It's happening. It's happening.
Yeah, recently they've been talking about like, why do you need crossplay? PlayStation is the best platform to play on. It's like, okay. We just really want to have it because we like our friends that are not, for example, paying for a console that you have. It's like people have different tastes, and it's good that they're finally doing this. I'm just saying that we shouldn't applaud them. We should say thank you finally, and now do it also for the rest of the games. Just allow it at least. Like it's a developer's job to enable it, but still allow it.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest problems that they had originally was just kind of,
yes.
I think one of the biggest problems they had originally was just kind of like, if we open this up, that means that people won't buy our consoles as much. But it's like, no, people would buy your consoles more because then they'd be able to play with whoever has their preference.
There are less barriers now, actually.
Yes.
Like, they still have the exclusives. They still have Last of Us Part 2. They still have the Spider-Man games and so many more. But additionally now, you can also play with your friends that don't have that console. Just saying it, like, at least you can play with your PC players together. Like, I can understand that there's something between Xbox and PlayStation 4, but especially the PC crowd just doesn't have any interest in one of these consoles, or they just have enough money that they can afford both anyway, so what the hell? Just, it's good that they're allowed to any platform now, apparently, and it's a good step forward. Let's just go on. I'm just tired of talking about this. They should have done this for all the time being. They got shit for it. They tried to explain it, and people are not taking it. And now that they're doing that, like, good, finally thinking, and just go on. Like, it only helps, actually, and they hopefully realize this finally now.
One day I'll be able to play Halo 3 with Halo. One day I'll be able to play Destiny 3 with you. Xbox to PlayStation. One day, the dream.
Rumors have it that there will be another big expansion first for Destiny 2 and then Destiny 3, but who knows? This is just talks in the bushes. No, nothing's really out there yet.
Massive DLC 2?
We'll probably hear about a new expansion then next year around spring, I think, or early summer, which is usually when that happens. But anyway, another good thing is, since we're still talking about PlayStation stuff, there's an update about Red Dead Redemption 2, and this is a kind of world record, actually, because Red Dead Redemption 2 has a 105 gigabyte install size.
Wow. See, I was thinking about the one that I saw a while ago that made me laugh, which was really silly about Red Dead, but yeah, that's a really big...
The horse's testicles are shrinking?
Yes, yeah, it was the horse's testicles.
What?
I couldn't believe it. I was like, that's either really immersive or really weird. I don't know which one.
In. Yeah, so this is like it's like a cowboy game. Of course, we have horses in there, and apparently it's like a selling feature that if it's cold outside, the testicles of the horse are shrinking a little bit.
Because, like, you know, every video gamer gets on a horse and goes, I wonder what a horse testicles look like.
I can't be immersed if this is not happening. I'm such a horse fan. Like, if the testicles don't shrink, this is basically unplayable. Excuse me. Okay.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, but just be prepared if you really want to get into Red Dead Redemption 2. Just make up some space. Like, I've been seeing today, Destiny 2 already has like 81 gigabyte. But that already has like 2 DLCs and another major expansion. This is just day one install size.
I'm gonna have to get rid of so many games.
Wow.
Oh, dear.
If you only have like an original PlayStation 4 with 500 gigabyte space, it's like a fifth of it. And also, you don't have the full 500, of course. There's some system installations and all that. So we have even less space now. And it feels like back in the day with the PlayStation 3 Super Slim, which came either in the 500 gigabyte version or, which I have still, the 12 gigabyte version, which means you can install one big game, maybe? Oh my lord. Yes. So that's that. That's Red Dead Redemption 2. Another cool thing, which I think both Daniel and I love actually is that since I've been talking about Destiny 2 all the time, but there's a thing that's actually really cool. And so the raid right now in Destiny 2 Forsaken is called Last Wish, which has some implications, of course, from the lore side. But as players also find out, if you take a little detour before the first boss, there's a little room with lots of plates on there. And if you shoot them, little icons appear, which leads to thinking, okay, if you can put in something here and also step on a plate, are there actually cheat codes in there for the raid? And it turns out, yes, there are some different things, like in cutscenes, for example, you see a Titan with his shield having these icons on there, which is one cheat code that you can enter before entering the raid. And the different things, you can skip whole encounters, can say, hey, if I put this code in, which is like taking a lot of time because I think there are 24 fields that you need to shoot every time. They have like 16 different icons that you can go through. It takes a lot of time to just put in one code, but you can skip encounters, you can get an emblem, and you can also activate this very cool cheat, which is the Grunt birthday party from Halo, the original one. Hey. So you give them a headshot and then they poof, have some confetti appearing, and then it's like a yay sound, which we excessively used in our Halo 1 stream. I absolutely like this feature. And now it's also available in this new raid of Destiny 2 Forsaken, which is fun. Yeah. Destiny. I'll just continue on. You're not interested. I see how it is. I see how it is. I just go on.
No, I think it's really good. I was actually really curious. Because I was wondering, because Microsoft actually own all of the Bungie assets for Halo. I was wondering how like they got around that, kind of like adding in the Grunt Party one, but they've changed it a little bit, which to like slide whistles instead of giddy laughter. But I still think that's awesome, and I can't wait to hopefully get into a raid with some peeps and turn that on, because that'd be a laugh.
Yeah, absolutely. At least you don't need to find a skull somewhere in that level.
Oh yeah, you're just like, I got the skull, guys.
Talking about skulls, let's talk about something really interesting. That is Bowsette, or what other people say Powser, because things are very different now. And this stems from a story. Actually, let's take a step back first. So for Nintendo Switch next year, we'll see a re-release of the Wii U title, New Super Mario Bros. And that game actually will come out in a new Super Mario Bros. Deluxe version, or like Redux version or something like that. So it gets a remaster on the new console, and there's also one or two updates that they did. And one of them is actually a crown power-up, which allows the Toadette character to turn into Peach, which sounds cool. It's like, yeah, Peach wasn't there as a playable character, and now she sort of is. But as the internet is how it is, people are thinking, okay, so that we have this item now, which is basically canon. What else can happen with this? And of course, they had to make the next best assumption, which is, what happens if Bowser actually takes the crown? Will Bowser just turns into Peach, or like a mix of the two? And this led to the internet creating basically Bowsette. And I'm going to show you the comic that actually started the whole thing. Don't worry, this is actually safe for work. So we see the
guys.
We see this is safe for work. We see the original creator here on Twitter, handling under the name AK92, and he's just showing us from Super Mario Odyssey the wedding setup where Peach says, actually, I'm not taking Bowser or Mario, and they're both feeling very down. And all of a sudden, in the third panel, Bowser's picking up the crown, and we see in the fourth one in a tennis match how Mario is now going out with Bowser, using that power-up as Bowsette. So, yeah, it didn't stay with this. So there were so many lewd things posted on the internet. And I gotta admit, some people retweeted something in my timeline, and baby, I've been also looking up the hashtag just because I'm curious, and I really regret it sometimes. It's like, I just love
how the creator, like a couple of days after releasing that, he put up another one which was just like, what have I done?
Yeah, so this went up on the 19th of September. We have now the 26th, right? So like a week after that, actually already, and it got just so much attention. And this guy actually started out, I think, with like, I don't know, 20 followers. He's now sitting at 53 50,000, almost 54,000 followers on Twitter.
Dang.
So for him, it turns out actually quite great. People are seeing his stuff now, and it's like, hey, congratulations, you started something which is not that aggressive. Like it's still a nice thing. It's not like it's not a bad thing, I'd say, at least. So it's just people doing fan ads now of Bowser actually as a Peach with horns, and there also like this lore behind it now, as I saw in other people's retweets. Like, actually, of course, after Super Mario Bros. 3, actually Peach got pregnant by Bowser, and I was like, no, this too much. I don't want to know this. Go back. But yeah, so
that is some serious, like, yikes.
I don't know. Emily, you are our female expert here. What do you think about this? Oh Lord, no.
I don't really know what to think, to be honest, because I don't really follow Mario and that kind of stuff.
You won't probably now. This doesn't help.
I probably won't, because it's probably men who concocted this, whatever it is.
I mean, all the people enjoyed both male and female, from what I saw.
That's good.
So yeah, I just crazy about this. As I said before, it's not like it's like a hostile thing or that are people now rallying over this. But yeah, it's just an interesting thing that popped up.
It's gonna happen, sadly.
At one point, like, what is it? Rule 13? I think that is a thing.
Oh wait, what's that? Rule 13 is what?
What is the internet?
I know what Rule 34 is.
Is it 34 or 13?
If it exists.
Oh, Rule 30. Okay, yeah. It's 34. Yeah. I'm sorry, wrong number.
34.
What is 13 then?
I don't know what that. There is. I know that there's a list somewhere of rules of the internet, 1 to like 60 something. There's a lot of them.
I don't find it right away. Anyway, so now people are now starting lots up with other things that they want to use with this power up. So the Boo, the ghost character, also gets a version now, which is like basically like we make a anime girl with the crown on the head, and she's pretend to be ghosts. It's like interesting, and it's like really started so many things. There are people now having a Bowsette amiibo, which is basically like a black dress Peach, but with horns also. It's like interesting what the people are doing with this, running wild creatively. And oh boy, what did Miyamoto think when he created this? Certainly not this.
Why?
Oh yes, yes.
Rule 13 is actually anything you say can be turned into something else. So that still works. It still works.
Yes, okay, interesting. Didn't intend that. I mean 34.
Anyway. Bowsette amiibo.
Yeah, we actually have also other things happening in the world. We're coming now to games that have been announced, and one of these is also I'm very sorry, Dirt Rally 2.0, which have been announced on several accounts on Twitter, which just posted like 2.0, and I was like thinking, what? 2.0? What does this mean? A sequel? And then we're stitching together like, oh, actually, this account is tweeting 2.0, and this one is counting 2.0, and it all sort of formed the net where we could conclude, okay, they're probably talking about a new Dirt game, and as it has been shown off now, yes, Dirt Rally 2.0 is now a thing. An update, of course, for the off-road game series and rally racing series, which is great, because the first one was already a pleasure to play after a long time, I think, in Steam Early Access. I hope that was this one. And now it's also getting a sequel. But from the trailer I can see, I don't know. So when that will happen? Oh, it's actually coming out on February 26th, 2019. February is the next big month. And hey, Linus Tech Tips, I don't want to see you right now. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Linus.
The next YouTube video loaded already. Anyway, yeah, so February 26th is when this game will come out. Actually, this is probably what you would actually support now, because it seems like only a few months until release. They hopefully have this done well enough for now. We'll see when it launches.
We'll see. We'll see.
Something else is actually coming out very soon is also Soul Calibur 6. I think that's coming in October. And this weekend, actually, from September 28th until the October very 1st. We'll have an online beta happening. I sadly cannot play it because, as I said before, I'll be at EGX, but people who want to play it, they can play it for free right now and go join the online beta. I think it does not require anything. As it says here, there's actually no requirement, so probably you can just download it, for example, on Steam, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One for free, just to try it out. And as I said before, it's coming out in October, and it's actually October the 19th that the game will come out. So yeah, get a little taste of Soul Calibur 6. We had it at Gamescom, and I think every one of us enjoyed it. I mean, Emily, what was your first words about that game? I think you saw one of the characters, which basically has nothing on, except for a few bits of clothes.
What?
You don't remember
that sword fighting game that we had when we joined Bandai Namco at Gamescom.
Oh yes. Big. It's very oversexualized, I should say. Yeah, but
I think this is exactly what you said also in the video when we talked about that.
Yes. Yeah. Very over-sexualized women.
Yeah.
All of them were. But then the men were also over-sexualized as well. So, yeah.
Yes, and also has The Witcher in there. Oh my god, sorry, sound was on. I just wanted to play the little trailer that they had here on Twitter, but the sound was turned on automatically. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
Anyway, yeah. So, of course, Geralt of Rivia, The Witcher, is also in this game, which makes one of the greater appearances in the Soul Calibur series, which has always some guest stars. And yeah, he's one of them now. That's really cool. I like playing as him, especially with the magic that he can use, also with the fire magic and everything. It's really cool. I like this game already. And yeah, I can't wait to play it, finally. There's also another beta happening very soon for Jump Force, and this will actually happen later. And if I scroll down here, the times are you can register until October 7th, right? And the actual online beta will happen October 12th to 14th on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, not on PC. So yeah, if you want to play that game, Jump Force, which we were not allowed to record, sadly. I hope this one we can finally record and show off also on our channel, because it looks really weird, because it's actually doing a realistic graphic style instead of more like a comic one, which, for example, Dragon Ball FighterZ does. It's just so odd seeing these manga and anime characters in more realistic looking art style. It's just really uncanny. I don't like this, but if I have more time to play it and actually can also show it off, I will do a video about it and let you know how it plays like also. Yeah. And last but not least, if you're still playing Pokemon Go, you're one of the OG heroes here. There's a new Pokemon actually coming out, which is basically like a silver Ditto, which has also a nut on its head and a black ball in the middle. And it was also already called Natto because there was no real name attached to it, and people could catch it on everything. And by now, this started at the start of the week. By now, people also found out, okay, this is actually a legendary Pokemon, and this is called, I think, Meltan, right? And it's the same class as Mew apparently. And people were wondering, why is this thing, this drop of soup with a nut on top of it, why is this in the same class as Mew, one of the OG creators of Pokemon, apparently? It was really weird. And apparently this is also linked now to Pokemon Let's Go, where this will be sort of the special Pokemon for this game, which is already a remake of the first generation of Pokemon games, but with way more changes to the gameplay. You can't directly battle Pokemon and catch them, you can only catch them in Pokemon Go. And this little thing is also now part of it. And it's interesting, to put it at least. Curious Pokemon was very expressive and shows an interest in all kinds of things. It's a nut with a black ball in it. How expressive can it be?
Yeah. Oh, Pokemon.
Oh, Pokemon.
How you have created weird and wonderful creatures over the years.
They have an ice cone as a Pokemon, and even has an evolution where there's a second one right next to it, I think.
A single scoop?
There's a trash bag with a face that is a Pokemon now. It's what? Yeah.
Trash camera.
So anyway. I think this is it. I think we only have the releases next. But, oh boy, what has been released this week actually is also very cool. Just a very quick glimpse. If you've never seen The Room anywhere, you can now also watch it for free on YouTube, because Tomoe Wiseau actually released this whole piece of something on his YouTube channel. You can watch it for free, and if you haven't seen it since 2003 at all, just do it. Just watch it. It's crazy stuff. It's like really bad. It's like called the worst movie of all time from so many critics. And if you've never seen it, just take a look and see why it's that bad. It's actually like really cool. It's like a cult classic of bad cinema, and you can get a good laugh out of it if you watch like with a few people. Like maybe get a little drunk, not too much. Drink responsibly, but if you watch it with your friends, you can have lots of fun with this movie. And yeah, you don't need to pay anything for that right now, because hey, as I said before, it's out now on YouTube for free. Nice. Has anyone seen The Room from you? Nah?
No.
You should definitely see it then. No excuses anymore. It's out for free on YouTube. Just do it tonight. Watch The Room. You'll never be able to sleep again. Okay, but other things that have been announced also is like Phoenix Wright, the first trilogy, is coming out to PC, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox One, which is great. I have it already on the 3DS, but of course, so many people have not had this system, so it's great that it's coming out on all the major ones that are out right now. And it's a really cool game about a lawyer having solving crimes and cool interactions.
Phoenix.
I love this series. It's really great. It got a little like worse to the end from the next game, so I just said, okay, I'm not interested anymore, because I borrowed a few titles later on. But it's like really good. It's a lot of fun. The characters are really funny, and I can really recommend it. So when it's coming out, is there any date for it? In early 2019, probably in February, as it is with any game right now. Yeah. And there was another thing. Apparently PUBG is also coming to PlayStation 4 according to a new listing. There have been, I think, also an age rating or game rating has happened already. And yes, all has been listed on different platforms. So this is not confirmed as of right now. But PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds might be coming finally also to PlayStation 4. Who knows, maybe Sony said like, no, you can't release an unfinished game like they did on Xbox One. Maybe this is why it's coming out right now, or very soon at least. Hopefully in a more polished version as it was on Xbox One. But who am I to judge? It's even not that really polished on PlayStation, on PC. So whatever. Yeah. I mean, a friend of mine actually played a lot of H1Z1, King of the Kill, which is basically the same thing, just a little different in taste. But it's still a battle royale game, and he said he really enjoyed it, especially on console. I played it once on PC or a few times with a friend, and yeah, it was before PUBG like really got public with it, because it's also the first game that Brendan Green, the creator, the PlayerUnknown, was consulted on to work with, as he was doing the first mod on it. And now, PlayStation 4 has H1Z1 King of the Kill, Fortnite, and very soon, hopefully, also PUBG. So there's that. Next to what's like coming later, Battlefield 5 Battle Royale mode. Call of Duty Black Ops 4 has a Battle Royale mode coming out in this October. So it's getting really stuffy on the PlayStation 4 for fans of Battle Royale games. And yeah, PUBG might join in them as well. All right. Folks, it's time. Time to say goodbye. Yeah. We should just go through the releases rather quickly, I'd say. It's not that big, I think. Other than maybe the coolest title that launches on Xbox this year. Because it's Forza Horizon 4. It's great. It's coming out October 2nd. Or it's coming out this Friday if you paid for the Super Deluxe version that you paid, like, I think, $110 or something for.
Nice.
Like a ridiculous high price. People that have the Game Pass can play it for free, of course, but that starts on October 2nd. So I gladly wait until that on next Tuesday, because I already have Game Pass. I don't need to pay extra for it. Yeah. And it's really cool. If you want to play it right now, you can play the free demo.
Yes, and if you want to experience a bit more of the game when it comes out on October 2nd, I would suggest, if you don't already have Game Pass, do the 14-day free trial for Game Pass, because then that gives you 14 days to play Horizon 4 from October 2nd if you get it on the day, and you get it instantly with Game Pass.
Mm-hmm. There's also Split Second coming to Game Pass for the next month, which is also a very cool game. It's like sort of Mario Kart for grown-ups with some cool action stunts, effects, and all that. I really liked that game back in the day. It's a really older title, but if you have Game Pass, also download Split Second and try that. I can really recommend this one. This is like one of the classic games.
Mario Kart is for adults.
Absolutely, I'm very sorry. Next up we have Mega Man 11. Finally, a brand new Mega Man game. This one's coming out, what does it say on the list? Can you see right now?
PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch on October 2nd.
Also on Tuesday, right. Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't look it up right now because I have the initial announcement trailer here, and it does not have a release date yet. So I need to rely on my co-mods to tell me when that happens. Yeah, it looks really cool. People are absolutely excited for this one. It looks like there was like the Kickstarter version one, which did not have, of course, the Mega Man license, but wanted to go for that feeling, and it was horrendous apparently. So it's good that we have an actually proper Mega Man game here now. And yeah, fans are absolutely stunned to play this one. Coming out next Tuesday.
Nice.
Next up we have something that I just found hilarious to look at. Valkyrian Arc Hero School Story.
Yeah, that sounds like an anime.
It's some anime bullshit game.
Hey.
What did I say on the list for which system is coming out?
October 2nd on PC, PS4, and Switch.
Yeah. Pretend to play this on PlayStation 4. Like your PlayStation 4 friends see like you're playing this game, and they're asking you, what do you do there?
Build a school for heroes.
It looks like a school simulation game. This is, I think, why I put it on the list here. Now that I've seen the trailer again, it looks really cool. We have also some RPG elements with the characters,
cool.
But the main thing is that you also have the option to actually build a school for magic children and everything.
Huh.
Yeah, so it's not that bad as I thought first. Good thing that I put it on the list
to get it on PC.
Yeah. We have another thing coming out next week, which is The Surge. It gets an update, which is called The Good, The Bad, and The Augmented. And of course, this is just more content coming from Deck 13, a German gaming company. Yay! And there's so far not known what it will cost. It's only known that it will come out next Tuesday on all the platforms. And yeah, so for fans that like this game, new content, that is always great.
Hey.
Then we have Fist of the North Star, the video game, which was described by Jim Sterling as basically Yakuza with Fist of the North Star characters. It's one of the older enemies, and people really like this one. And from what we can see, there's like a playable demo out right now. So it's been really good. So that's coming out when, Daniel?
That is also coming out on October 2nd.
Great. It's a really stuffed Tuesday.
Yeah.
Good thing in Germany, at least, we have one day off. We have a bank holiday on October 3rd because it's Day of the German Unity, when East and West Germany got combined into one again. So we celebrate that by playing all the games that we bought on October 2nd. Nice. At least I will probably do that. Right. Going on, we have October 5th, and that is Super Mario Party for the Nintendo Switch, of course.
Mario.
Super Mario Party, yeah. I really like this game. I like the Mario Party game. It's a really cool game series overall. And they're doing some interesting stuff also with the Switch. If you have two consoles, you can do interesting things like combine it, for example, as you can see in the trailer, the game field, and it will automatically recognize how they're positioned to each other and make up like a real, like a connection between digital world and real world. So how you put your Switch consoles to each other makes a difference for the games that you play in there. And of course, there's so many new mini games coming around. So if you don't know anything about it at all, it's like a board game basically where you play with different characters, and after each round that one has done a move, You can also play like a game all 4 against each other, or you have a mode if one did especially well. So you have like 1 versus 3, so 3 have to team up against 1 player. And the overall goal is to get lots of stars so you can win after a certain amount of rounds. And the winner is, of course, the one with the most stars. So this looks like really good fun. I will probably play with my family, actually, whenever I join them on October 5th for my dad's birthday. And I will let you know on the podcast, of course, how it is then when we come back again. Cool. Next up, we have Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Yay!
Yes!
I mean, Daniel, just let us know what you think about this. Is it the greatest game of all time? I don't know, but...
it is a damn decent game. If you enjoyed anything with Assassin's Creed Origins, you're going to love Odyssey. They have really ramped up the Dark Souls-esque combat, or the non combat of Assassin's Creed, previous Assassin's Creeds, where you would just how fast can you deflect attacks, or twist them away and attack them again. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, it's a beautiful looking game. It plays well. The only difference is this time it is set in Greece, which is a bit of an odd choice, but they're going for a lot more open spaces. They're going for a lot more previous timelines, and I'm really looking forward to this one. I got to play a bit of it at Gamescom, and yes, it was so good. It was so good. So I do recommend it to anybody if they are thinking, is this a good game from what I've seen and what I've played? Yes, it is a very good game.
Cool. Yeah, and then you can also play either as a male hero or as a female one. So if you want to have a choice, yay, finally you get it. You have a choice what you want to play as. And I think Emily, from her actions right now, I think she likes that decision very well.
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I always like the truth.
Yeah, I think it's a fresh perspective, because they previously had what's it called, in Assassin's Creed Syndicate, they had a brother and a sister who you could play as.
Yep.
But cool. This one is entirely different, as you can play as one or the other.
I think even the female hero is the intended version. I think I'm not entirely sure. Ooh. But yeah.
So it's definitely interesting from what I've played.
Yeah. And the last game that launches next week, which we curated sort of in all this, there's so many more games coming out, is WWE 2K18, of course. 19. Nice.
19.
Stupid sports game numbering system for the next year, of course.
So with this one, you get they have the $1 million challenge, which looks to be a very interesting challenge if you like it. I'm not such a big fan of the WWE series ever since they 2K took over and changed everything, which annoyed me personally. But really? From what I understand, all the characters are back. They're looking really good. The style of wrestling has improved, and you can play as any of your favorite superstars, male and female. And especially since I believe they're producing some more content for the upcoming women's only pay-per-view Evolution. So that's going to be some good stuff. But some old classic heroes are returning. We're getting the Hulk Hogan, the Macho Man, and some other awesome wrestlers. So yeah, definitely look that out. If you haven't already and you really want to, I would suggest pre-ordering it. If you are a big fan of this series, as you can play as Ronda Rousey, the current WWE Raw Women's Champion, and an old favorite of a lot of people, Mr. Rey Mysterio, Mr. 619 himself. So yeah, definitely get your hands on that early if that's something you want to do.
All right. And that concludes the release section. Thank you very much, as always. We did a little longer than intended, but the 90-minute mark seems to be appropriate for how many topics we had this week. Yes. So one last thing. Next week, we take a break. As said before, I will not be here, actually. I'll be around with family and stuff, because it's Day of the German Unity and everything. And yeah, we'll skip 1 week. which also allows for Daniel to send his PC in because of another few things. So there's also a good chance to just do some maintenance around. And yeah, Emily, when will you be back? Probably when you will be back, I guess, right?
I'm not too sure when I'll be back, but I know I will. So yeah, I start my new job soon. So I'll be fine.
That is, of course, the highest priority right now. And as we all know, at least the adults on Earth, starting a new job, especially for the very first time in the big open world out there, it's like really stressful, it takes a lot of energy, and we can totally understand if you are missing in the few next shows, of course. But we're also looking forward to when you will be joining us again, talking about stuff that you did so far. And thank you as always for joining us today. Daniel, what is up with you? What will you be doing next time?
Right, so...
What's the next Dance demo?
When's the next Dance demo? It is currently on hold due to PC issues. That is why I am sending it away. I've dealt with them, but it's gotten overwhelming now, so I'm going to have to send my PC away. For the moment, I will be focusing on just having a look at content, maybe doing some write-up of some reviews. I think I want to review the Spider-Man. Definitely want to give that shot a review because that was a lot of fun. So definitely look out for that, as hopefully I will get that done soon.
Cool. Right, cool. So yeah, we're all getting some stuff done, and we'll be back in 2 weeks' time this time, hopefully, if everything works out. And my name is Hustis. Thank you, as always, for joining us today. You can find us under @TheNewByte everywhere, especially for this weekend. Follow us on our Instagram, because I'm doing lots of stuff there. Doing some daily postings and sharing them around also. And of course, you can also talk to us on our Discord, which you can find under thenewbyte.com/Discord. Thank you guys as always for joining us, and this is it. We're done?
Yeah.
I'll give you the chance to say bye-bye then. I don't need to do that every time.
Alright, well, we hope you enjoyed this. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the podcast. And we will see you in 2 weeks' time. But if you want to see us before then, you can see all of our Twitter handles around our heads. And you can get in touch with us either there on our Discord or on Twitter @TheNewByte. So have a good rest of your 2 weeks, and we will see you then. Bye-bye!
Bye!